Mhm. 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 Oh my god!
It's just a dress, Alucard. No need for any alarm.
You do realize we have a door, you know. Why are you here anyway?
I just wanted to come say hi. A girl can't be expected to stay in her mansion.
Well, before you go raiding the tombs that is our refrigerator, would you like to help me out with the video today?
Sure. What are we doing?
Well, you see, as I'm sure you're aware, Tekken 8 has been generating a whole lot of buzz. A big part of that just so happens to be thanks to Tekken's new heat system. The reason for that is no one knows how the heat system will work, so it's got a lot of people up in arms about whether or not they like it. But when you're someone like me who has a disability, you don't think about gameplay first. That is why we are here today.
Ah, so you want to help people who have your disability be able to play. I get it now.
Precisely. As of right now, there's nothing on the internet that discusses how to play the game with the disability until now. Today we will be looking at some techniques and some tools and methodologies that you can use to get better at the game, even with your limitations. Before we get started here, I would like to point out that I'm only going to be talking about things from my perspective. I can't speak on every single disability out there as I don't have it. So this is going to be things from my perspective. You may have your own techniques that you've worked out that can work for you. These techniques are to be used as a base as to what you have and what condition you're in. So now that we have that crap out of the way, Laura,
Huh? Me?
of course you! What other British archaeologist would I be talking to at this moment?
This isn't my game. You sure? I haven't even read the script yet.
You worry too much. You will be fine.
Okay, so before we do anything, you'll need to know how to Korean backstep. Not backdash, backstep. Most videos and forums recommend that you should master this technique, but when you have a disability, it needs to be done in a way that isn't too hard for you. If you input back, down, back, back, you get a similar enough movement pattern to where you should still be able to be effective. This technique does require a lot of patience, but the more that you practice, the easier it will be.
Very well done. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just a little sidebar here. When you first try this technique, you are going to mess it up. That's just how this game works. If you end up with a little extra jump there like I did, don't worry. That will happen. That just means you have to iron out your motion a little bit. It's fine. Anyway, there's a reason we started with this. You see, Tekken is a very movement based game. That means you have to know at least some of this, even if you do play with one hand like I do, or have any disability.
It must really be difficult having to play games like these with one hand. I always knew you struggled, but I never knew how bad.
That, my friend, is the point of this video. Let other people know what I go through, and maybe I can help them as well as shed some light on my own situation. Now here's the part where I'm going to get a lot of flack from people. A lot of videos online will tell you to look for specific moves and do certain things depending on the character. But for today, for what we're doing, we don't need any of that. Instead, I want you to look at something. See that little itty bitty white spark? That's called the counter hit. The entire game revolves around that little itty bitty white spark. So it's important that you memorize that animation. Now, what does that animation tell you? Well, landing a counter hit is one of the most advantageous things you can do in Tekken, often leading to big combos and more often than not a half-life deficit for your opponent. But how in God's name do we get here? That's right, we have to go back to movement. In Tekken, sometimes the best offense that you can have is just be quick with your legs and move according to your opponent. That is what creates openings, and that is why we covered things in the order that we did. You have to remember one to do the other. Alright, so we talked about what this thing is and how to find it, but what do we do when you actually land one? When you first actually land a counter hit, just hit a button. Don't overthink it. A lot of people will tend to start thinking of the combo too far ahead and then drop it. But you have to learn to think in the present moment. Don't worry about the combo. Just hit a button and be careful.
So remember your movement options, look for counters, and don't overthink your combo opportunities. Sounds like a pretty solid plan to me.
Now that we've gone over the bare basics, in the next couple videos, we will go over certain characters that you can use that would benefit this playstyle.
Does character choice matter in this instance?
Well, yes and no. You'll see.
I look forward to it. And you mind if I join you? It's been nice getting to see you, and I'm kind of bored at home.
Sure, what the hell?
As always, please remember to like and subscribe. We will see you next time.